Hello, my name is Kirti. The last video I posted was on Arrhenius equation. So that video covers the conceptual part of the topic, like it explains what is Arrhenius equation, what are its different kinds. And in that video I had also discussed a bit of collision theory to see how collision theory justifies this Arrhenius equation. And in this video I am going to solve few problems related to this topic. So I have decided to cover about 10 to 12 problems of different types. So that is why I have to break the video into two parts. In the first part I will cover some 5 to 6 problems, and in the next part I will cover the remaining problems. So I have already given the 3 important forms of Arrhenius equation here. So to solve any problem you need any of these equations, okay? And these equations have already been derived in the previous video. So if you already have prior knowledge of Arrhenius equation concept, you can directly start solving these problems. But if you do not have a good understanding of this concept, you can watch my previous video and then come to this video and then solve the problems, okay? So let us start with this first problem. It says the rate constant for the decomposition of hydrocarbons is this much. So you are given rate constant at 546 Kelvin. That means you are also given temperature. So you have rate constant, you have temperature. If EA is this much, so you are also given activation energy, and you are asked to find the value of pre-exponential factor. So we know that Arrhenius equation is K is equal to A into E power minus EA over RT, where K is rate constant, A is called the Arrhenius parameter or pre-exponential factor, E is the activation energy, R is the universal gas constant, T is the temperature. So all these things have already been explained in the previous video. So now we can directly solve the problem. So what are you given? You are given the value of K, which is 2.418 into 10 power minus 5 second inverse. So you are given the value of temperature, which is 546 Kelvin. You are given activation energy, which is 179.9 kilojoules per mole. So you are asked to find the value of pre-exponential factor, that is A. So now we can easily figure out that we can use this first equation to solve this problem, right? You are given K, you are given EA, you are given temperature, universal gas constant is already known. So from this you can find pre-exponential factor. So I will use this first equation to solve this problem. So here K is, okay, I'll write it here. K is equal to A e power minus EA over RT. So what is the value of R? It is 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse, right? But we have activation energy in kilojoules. So here you have E power minus EA over RT. So when you solve this EA over RT, first we need to solve this term and then put it here to get K, or sorry, A here, okay? So to solve this we need EA and R and T. We know that R is 8.314 joules Kelvin inverse mole inverse. So since R is in the unit of joules, you also need to convert activation energy in joules. So I will write activation energy as 179.9 into 1000 joule mole inverse. We know that 1 kilojoule is equal to 1000 joules, right? So I am using that formula here. I mean conversion here. And now we can easily solve for EA over RT. So it is, what is EA? The given EA is 179.9 into 10 cube joule mole inverse, okay? R is 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse into, what is temperature? It is 546 Kelvin. 546 Kelvin. I hope it is visible. So here I can cancel joule, I can cancel mole inverse, I can cancel Kelvin inverse and Kelvin. So this EA by RT quantity is unitless, it is just a number. So when you solve this 179 39.9 into 10 cube by 8.314 into 546. You get this value as, I have already solved this and I got this value as it's 39.63040. Okay. Now I need to put this value in this equation. Okay. So here I know what is K, that is 2.418 into 10 power minus 5 second inverse. We need to find A, and here we have E power. This entire term will be minus 39.63040. So I have substituted EA over RT value here. Okay. So I found that E power this much would be 8.2989 into 10 power minus 18. So if you have calculator, you can easily solve this. This would be 8.2989 into 10 power minus 18. So now you have 2.418 into 10 power minus 5 second inverse. So to get the value of A, I will take this term on the left hand side in the denominator. So that would become 8.2989 into 10 power minus 18. Sorry, this will remain and this will move. So after solving this, you can see here that 10 power minus 5 and 10 power minus 18 you have. This is second inverse. So when this 10 power minus 18 goes to the numerator, it becomes 10 power minus 5 plus 18. That would be 10 power plus 13. Okay. So when you solve this 2.418 by 8.2989, you will get 0.2913. So this would be 0.2913. So when you solve this, this would be 0.2913 into, this is 10 power 13. Now here you have the unit second inverse. So the unit of A here is second inverse. Since you can easily see this is a number, so this entire thing will be a number. K is in the terms of second inverse. So the unit of A will also be second inverse, right? So this is how you solve this problem. Now let us move on to the next problem. The second question is, the decomposition of hydrocarbon follows the equation, calculate EA. So you are given that decomposition of hydrocarbon follows this equation and you are asked to find out the value of activation energy. So when you see these kind of equations in chemical kinetics, you can from guess say that this equation can be Arrhenius equation because it is of the form K is equal to some constant into EA power something by T, right? So this equation is similar to Arrhenius equation which is of the form K is equal to A into E power minus EA over RT. Now when you compare these two equations, you can find the value of A which comes out to be 4.5 into 10 power 11 second inverse. But you are not asked to find the value of A. You are asked to calculate activation energy. Now we know that here they have given EA by RT or minus EA by RT as minus 28,000 by T. So now I compare these two parts of the equation. Okay. So now I compare these parts of the equation. This one and this one. So EA by RT rather minus EA by RT is equal to minus 28,000 over T. So from here you can cancel the negative sign because energy, activation energy or energy in general always has to be positive, right? So you can also cancel this temperature. Now you get EA as 28,000 into 8.314. Oh, okay. One term is missing here. They had also given this 28 K by T. So they had given this unit here K. So I missed it. So this would be 28,000 K by T. So I'll write it here K. So this is the unit Kelvin. Okay. It was already given in the question. I just missed writing it here. Okay. So it becomes 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. So this is the value of R. So when I take R this side, so it becomes 28,000 into this much. So here I can cancel this K inverse, and what you are left with is 28,000 into 8.314, which comes out to be, I have solved for this, and it came out to be 232,792, and you are left with these units, joule mole inverse. So this is the unit of energy. So they had given this case so that we can cancel Kelvin inverse and Kelvin, and so that we can get the right values of activation energy. So always when you solve the problems, try to solve the units also. Then you can figure out whether your approach is right or not. Okay. So let us solve the third question. So the question is the decomposition of A into product. So here A is not the Arrhenius parameter. Here A is the reactant. Okay. So the decomposition of A into product has the value of K. So the rate constant of a reaction A into P is given. So the rate constant is this much at 10 degrees centigrade. So you are given one rate constant, you are given the temperature, and EA is this much. So you are also given information on activation energy. At what temperature would K be? This much. Okay. So you are given one rate constant, one temperature, activation energy. You are given other rate constant, but you have to find the temperature at which the rate constant would be this much. Okay. So let us write the data given. So here you are given one rate constant, which I designate as K1. So K1 is 4.5 into 10 power 3 second inverse. Let me check if it is 3 or minus 3. Yeah, it's 3. This is at temperature 10 degrees centigrade. So 10 degrees centigrade plus 273 gives 283 Kelvin. So at T1 the rate constant is this much. So now you are given K2, which is 1.5 into 10 power 4 second inverse, and you are asked to find out the value of T2. You are also given activation energy, which is 60 kJ mole inverse. So it is always safe to convert this activation energy in terms of joules, because however you are going to use the value of R, which is in joules, so it's always better to first convert this into joules. Okay. So this would be 60 into 1000 joule per mole inverse, because we know 1 kilojoule is equal to 1000 joules. Okay. So can you solve this problem? Yeah, which equation would you use out of these three equations to solve this problem? It is apparent, right? You can use this equation 3 to solve this problem, because you have K2, you have K1, you have T1, but you do not have T2. You also have activation energy. So you have only one unknown. So using this equation, either this or this one, you can solve the problem. So I am more comfortable with log forms, log to the base 10. So I am going to use this equation. So let us start solving. Log K2 by K1. What is K2 here? 1.5 into 10 power 4 second inverse by 4.5 into 10 cube second inverse. So this would get cancelled. So this is only a number now. Is equal to activation energy is 60 into 10 cube joules mole inverse by 2.303 into 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. So you do not know what is T2. You know that T1 is 283 Kelvin. So always keep one thing in mind. If you are given the temperature in degrees centigrade, you must need to convert it into Kelvin. Okay. And the reason why we do this, I have explained it in a video which is called Kelvin temperature. So if you are interested, you can watch this. You can watch that video. It is called Kelvin temperature. Okay. that video I have clearly explained why do we need to convert this degree centigrade into Kelvin always as we solve the problem. Okay. So this would be, in the denominator we have T1 into T2, right? So we do not know T2, we know T1, which is 283. So 283 into T2. Yeah, there is one more important thing. You can make a guess about T2, whether it would be less than T1 or greater than T1. You see that here the temperature is 283 Kelvin and the rate constant is this much. Now K2 is larger than K1, right? Here it is in the order of 10 power 3 and here it is 10 power 4. So K2 is greater than K1. So obviously T2 should be greater than T1. So a rough guess you can make from this. Okay. So as the temperature increases, rate constant increases. So as rate constant is higher, temperature should have been higher, right? Okay, now we will solve this. So here I cancel 10Q and 10Q. Now I can make this as 15. 1.5 into 10 becomes 15. So you have 15 by 4.5 and I have solved for it. It would be 3.33. So 15 by 4.5 becomes 3.33. And I have solved this, I have calculated this log 3.33, obviously using calculator. So this was 0.522. Okay. Log of K2 by K1 is 0.522. You can cross check using calculator. Okay. So here 2.303 into 8.314, it becomes 19 point something. Yeah, 19.1471. Okay. So here I cancel this joules and mole inverse. Now I have only Kelvin inverse. So what I do is I will take these terms on this side. So here it becomes 19.1471 Kelvin by 60 into 10 cube. So on this side you have T2 minus 283 by 283 T2. So this entire term is 0.166 into 10 power minus 3. Okay. So you can solve this. You will get 0.166 into 10 power minus 3. So I'll take this term on the left hand side, so that becomes 0.166 into 10 power minus 3 Kelvin into 283 T2. Okay. So this 283 is also Kelvin, right? Okay, for now I'll omit this K from here. I'll keep it here. And at the end, we already know the temperature is obviously in Kelvin. So at the end, you are definitely going to get this Kelvin back. Okay. To avoid this confusion, I have omitted it here. So this would be T2 minus 283. Right? When I multiply this becomes 46.978 into 10 power minus 3. 46.978 into 10 power minus 3 Kelvin. Oh, sorry. 10 power minus 3 T2. T2 minus 283. Now what I will do is I will take this 283 on the left hand side and I will take this entire term on the right hand side. So it becomes 283 is equal to T2 minus, can I write this as 0.0469? Yeah, this into 10 power minus 3 would be 0.046978 T2. So I'll take T2 common here. So this becomes 1 minus into T2. So 1 minus this term is, it's something like 0.95. Okay, it is 0.9531 into T2. So you can get T2 directly from here. T2 will become 283 by 0.9531. T2 is equal to 283 by 0.9531. So this answer came out to be around 296.9. That means approximately 297 Kelvin. Okay. Okay. So now we are doing T2 is equal to 283 by the value we got here. That would be 296.9 Kelvin. So the answer ends here. Like when you substitute all the numerical values in this formula, the answer ends here. The rest is just calculation that you can do with calculator. You can do all these steps in one go. When you have calculator in your hand, you can do it in just one go, right? So you can save the time. So this I have gone step by step so that you can also follow, right? So here we solve this third problem. Now we move on to the fourth problem. Let us solve this fourth problem. So the question is, the rate of a reaction quadruples. Quadruples means it becomes 4 times. Okay. The rate of the reaction quadruples when the temperature changes from 293 to 313 Kelvin. So the difference is 20 Kelvin. Okay. Calculate the energy of activation of the reaction assuming that it does not change with temperature. So they have already given the rate constants. They said that at 293 there is some rate constant. At 313 it becomes 4 times. Okay. So they say that rate of a reaction quadruples. That means suppose the initial rate is R1. The final rate, suppose this is at 293 Kelvin and the final rate at 313 quadruples. That means it becomes 4 times of the initial rate. So that means it becomes 4 R1. So we know that rate is proportional to the rate constant. So if rate becomes 4 times, rate constant will also become 4 times of the initial rate constant. So if initial rate constant is K1, the final rate constant K2 would be 4 K1. Okay. So this is at temperature 293. So T1, which is 293. This is at temperature T2, that is 313 Kelvin. So they have not given the values of rate constants. So they have just said that the initial rate would become 4 times at 313 Kelvin. Okay. So this is the data they have given. So we have initial rate K1, the final rate would be 4 K1, T1 is 293 Kelvin and T2 is 313 Kelvin. Now we are asked to find out the value of activation energy. So this activation energy, it also depends on temperature, but they said that we need to assume that it is independent of temperature and find out the value of EA. So which equation would we use? We would definitely use this equation, right? So you have K1, K2, you don't have EA, you have T2 and T1. So how do we solve this? Log K2 by K1. So K2 is 4 K1 and initial rate is K1. So EA is EA, which we need to find, and I'll write it here. So K1 is K1, which is at temperature 293 Kelvin. Okay. So this place we need to solve the problem. Okay. EA by 2.303. What is the value of R? 8.314 Joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. So what is T2 minus T1? So this would be 313 minus 293. That is about 20 Kelvin. So what is T1 into T2? 293 into 313. Into 313. Simple. Problem is solved, right? So you have everything. You need to find the value of EA. So here I can cancel this K1 and it becomes log 4. And log 4 we know it is 0.6020. So I can write here 0.6020. And this value is 91709. 293 into 313 is 91709. This would be Kelvin square, right? So this Kelvin would get cancelled. So what I have done is T2 minus T1 is in Kelvin, right? T2 is Kelvin, T1 is Kelvin, so I'll take Kelvin common. So here T2 into T1 is Kelvin into Kelvin, which would be Kelvin square, and I have cancelled 1 Kelvin here. Okay, so that's all I have done. What can you do? You can keep EA and you can take these terms this side. So this becomes 19.1471. Should remain. So 19.1471. Yeah. So now EA becomes, this is 0.6020 into 19.1471. So what I will do is I will cancel this Kelvin inverse. So along with this 19.7141, this Joule mole inverse will also go to this side. So I will write Joule mole inverse divided by, what we have? 20. Okay. Oh, we also need to take this term, which is 91709. So we have taken everything which is in the denominator to the numerator on left hand side. Check carefully. Yeah, this has been taken. This is also taken. Okay, this is also there. So 20 should go into the denominator. So when you solve this using calculator, you will get this value as 52854. So 52854 Joule per mole. So you get the units right here, Joule per mole, right? So if you want to express it in kilojoules, you can divide it by 1000 and write it as, please don't mind, 52.854 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So this was also pretty much easy problem. Now we will move on to the fifth problem. Let us solve this fifth question. So the question is, the rate constant for the first order decomposition of H2O2 is given by the following equation. So this equation describes the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Calculate EA of the reaction. So you are asked to find the value of activation energy and at what temperature its half period be 256 minutes. And you are also asked to find the temperature at which the half-life of the reaction is 256 minutes. So in this question you are asked to find two things. First is the activation energy and second is the temperature at which T half is 256 minutes. Okay. So when you look at this equation, just try to compare this equation with any of these equations. If you try to compare this with this equation is not of the form k is equal to a to e power minus Ea over Rp, right? There is one term minus this, right? So this equation cannot be compared with the first equation. Now if you see, can you compare this equation with this third equation? So third equation involves two rate constants and two temperatures. But here you have only one rate constant and one temperature. So this equation can also be not compared to this third equation. So what you can do is compare this with equation 2. So here on the left hand side you have log K, which is okay, fine. Here you have some constant, log A is a constant, minus some term, okay. So this equation can be compared to the second equation of, second form of the Arrhenius equation. So let me compare it. Log K is equal to 14.34 minus 1.25 into 10 power 4 K by T. Log K is equal to log A minus EA by 2.303 RT. So from these two equations, we see that 1.25 into 10 power 4 is equal to EA by 2.303 RT, right? So I can write EA by 2.303 RT is equal to 1.25 into 10 power 4 K by T. So on both sides, the temperature term will get cancelled. So you can easily find the value of activation energy from here, right? So I'll cancel this T on both sides. I'll take this 2.303 into R on the right side, so it goes to the numerator. So 1.25 into 10 power 4 K into 2.303, and what is the value of R? It is 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse, right? So I'll write it here, 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse, okay? So here Kelvin and Kelvin inverse would get cancelled. So what you are left with is joule into mole inverse. So this is the unit of energy, and when you calculate this, you will get around 23.94 into 10 power 4 joule mole inverse. So if you want to express it in kilojoules, you can just divide it by 1000. So when you divide it by 1000, you get, okay, there will be about 10 left here. So you get 239.4 kJ per mole. Okay. So this is the activation energy of the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So I will write it here. So it is 239.4 kilojoules. 239.4 kilojoules per mole. Now you are asked to find out the value of, asked to find out the temperature at which the half-life is 256 minutes. So you are given one more information about this decomposition of H2O2. I'll keep this first equation as it is. We might need it. So there is a T here, okay. Okay, now we need to find the value of, the temperature at which half-life of the reaction is 256 minutes. So we are given that the reaction is first order reaction, and for a first order reaction, the rate constant is equal to 0.693 by T half, okay. So if you find the value of rate constant, you can put this rate constant in this equation. So in this equation, there will be only one unknown, that is T, temperature. So here this K is Kelvin, okay. Do not confuse it for rate constant. This is Kelvin. This small k is the rate constant. So from here you get the rate constant, and you can put this rate constant in this equation. Then you will get the value of temperature, okay. So I'll do it. So 0.693, what is T half? 26. But the time is always expressed in seconds. So I'll multiply it with 60 to get seconds. So this would be 256 into 60 seconds. So that would be goes into the numerator and becomes second inverse. Okay. You can calculate this using calculator. So you will get this value. Now I am going to put this value in this equation. So what I do is I put log k, which is 4.51 into 10 power minus 5 is equal to 14.34 minus, I think you can solve it now. So 14.34 minus 1.25 minus 1.25 into 10 power 4 k by t. So this value is minus 4.3458. Okay, 4.34. So I'll do one thing. We need to find temperature, right? So I'll bring this to this side. Okay, 1.25 into 10 power 4 k by t. So we need to find temperature. So I'll bring this side and I'll take this number on the right hand side. So I'll get 1.25 into 10 power 4 k is equal to 14.34 plus 4.3458. This would be around 18 or 19. So this is 18.68. 18.6858. So this would be 18.6858. We have t in the denominator. Okay. So 1.25 into 10 power 4 k. So I'll take this t on the right hand side and I'll bring this to the denominator on the left hand side. So, okay, I'll do it in the next step. This is my t. So t would be equal to 1.25 into 10 power 4 Kelvin by 18.6858. So when you solve this, the answer you get would be around 668.9 Kelvin. So you can use the calculator to solve this. So this would be some 125 by 18 into 10 square. 125 into 10 square by 18. So you can also do this. You'll get roughly the same answer. It would be t is equal to 668. I got 668.9. 668.9 Kelvin. Okay. So this Kelvin is already there. So this is the temperature at which half-life of the reaction becomes 266 minutes. Okay. So this was a bit lengthy problem. Here you were asked to find two things, that is activation energy and the temperature at which half-life becomes 256 minutes. So the important formula that we used in this question were this one and one is this one, the second form of Arrhenius equation. Okay. So using these two equations, you could easily solve this question. Okay. The remaining questions will be solved in the next video because this video will had already become long enough. So the remaining will be done in next video. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.